Oh.
All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody, it's Akerman here, back with another episode of Multiverse Podcast, episode 37, the first episode of 2017. I think that deserves a round of applause. All right, there we go. Hoping someone remembered. All right, so 2017, baby, let's get started, and it's already a spicy year in terms of topics. So let's get into it, man. But real quick, I want to introduce the rest of the panel for the evening. We got my co-host, Fame, who will be here shortly. It's been a very rough day for some. And
why?
You'll see.
In the meantime, let's introduce the Sound Master General, James.
I would love that to be my official title on this website, Soundmaster General James Sterling Wilson. Hello. Yeah, it's me. It's James, at James_S Wilson, if you want to come to talk to me about Radiohead, any film released, and why La La Land is, in fact, the best film of the year.
Oh, God.
It won all those awards, man. And I don't know.
It won 7 out of 7 at the Golden Globes, and it's going to sweep the Oscars, too, because it's just that good.
Oh, man. I'm gonna see it. I'll see it. It's nice to see a musical coming back, a Hollywood musical. But I'm also
it's like a proper music. I want to say proper musical because that infers like Singing in the Rain or Hairspray or some bullshit like that. Oh, sorry. But this is like Whiplash combined with Singing in the Rain. So you've got intensity, but you've got classic stuff. Oh, I love it. It's so good.
It's interesting, man. I'll take a look at it. It's not. I'm not surprised though at one thing. It's around Hollywood anyway. Like, oh, who would have guessed a movie about Hollywood doing well in Hollywood award shows? Anyway. Also introduce my other co-host for the evening. I don't have a really sexy name for him though yet. It's 2017, still a little young. Got my man Nick, Undead.
How's it going, everybody? Good to be back on the podcast in a new year, new me situation, except Microsoft's still up to its old game-canceling tricks.
Oh, God. we got to get into that, but 2017, I got to tell you guys, do not be surprised if they delay everything you love in January. Like, this is a regular trend here. Anything you love, anything you care about, it will be announced it is getting delayed in January. And, oh my God.
Well, you know what? Delays I'm okay with.
It's
canceling that's the problem.
I'm not even fine with delays anymore. I've gotten to the point where you better not even announce a game until you're willing to release it within 9 months. That's my big thing. Like... when you announce it, you better have an intended release date ready to go.
9 months?
9 months. Treat it like a baby.
All right.
Hey, I'm down with the whole Fallout launch. Announce it at E3 and release it that year.
Dude, hype us up. And I think Andromeda's doing it okay. It's clearly it's not the same Fallout setup. But I mean, it's like, okay, Andromeda exists. We're not showing you anything about it. But then we're going to get like right before it's about to come out. We're going to start giving you leaks, a lot of stuff to get you to build you up the hype. And like, it's been consistent. It's been enjoyable. They did the video game awards and they showed that like a good long trailer. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I like that. And then they showed like, what was it? No, they showed the Pro event first. It was the PlayStation Pro event. They showed it off. And then it was the VGA awards.
Can I just quickly say about...
Okay, ready to coming out March 21st.
Can I just quickly say... The official title of that is the TGAs, which is the Game Awards.
Oh yeah, it's not VGAs anymore.
No, but they call it the TGAs. So technically, you have to say the Game Awards.
Oh God!
Damn it, Jeff Keighley.
Man, I'm just
I got nothing wrong with Jeff Keighley. He's a good lad.
All right, so just real quick side tangent. I've been hitting up the backlog. Like, you know, finally games stopped coming out for a little bit. I'm trying to hit it, knocking stuff out of the park. I finished Infinite Warfare on January 1st, starting off to a good start right there, getting out of the way.
Infinite Warfare is pretty decent, isn't it?
Campaign's pretty good. I liked the campaign. I was pleasantly surprised. But the multiplayer is just, oh God, don't even bother. Like if you find the game for like $20, go ahead and pick it up for the campaign. You'll never find it for $20, mind you, but if you do,
you know what?
go for it.
It's already under that in the UK.
Oh God, you guys are lucky.
It's still not as cheap as Titanfall 2.
Well,
They're giving Titanfall.
well, actually, it's really funny because if people were really, really smart, they picked it up on that one-day deal they had on the Xbox store where they had Destiny, the collection, as well as the Modern Warfare Remaster and the Infinite Warfare bundle, all together a one game for $60.
Oh my
That's
God,
interesting. They've given away
I
2
had- if I
incomplete
liked it-
games and Modern Warfare.
yeah, they had the Modern Warfare in there too. It was just,
Yep.
oh my God. But real quick, I want to talk about Mass Effect because I finished Mass Effect 2 just a couple days ago. Then I also finished Watch Dogs 2 like yesterday. Mass Effect 2 was really good. I was very. I know I'm really late to the party on this. I'm really late.
I've never
But
played
I'm
Mass
really
Effect.
excited.
The first one was really, really boring for the first couple hours, so I didn't bother.
I'm completely with you, Nick. And then someone told me that I can just jump in at 2, and you can like make all the key decisions you'd have to make in 1 at the beginning of 2. So you can basically bypass it, and because the combat system in 1 is a bit I don't want to say bad, old-fashioned is a good word. 2 is just something else in terms of gaming.
Yeah. So I played it. I really enjoyed it, Mass Effect 2, and I'm gonna play 3 in a little bit, like in maybe a couple weeks. Let Mass Effect 2 settle for a little bit, then go to 3, and just kind of building myself. And I'm actually excited for Andromeda now that I know how good Mass Effect is. I'm genuinely enjoying it. Like it's such a really good. It's just really good.
Did you ever
Although,
play?
like,
Did you ever play Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic?
I did when I was younger, but I never got into it. I know it was the same kind of gameplay, but the gameplay is not what I'm there for anymore.
No, I'm saying because that's the reason I will get anything made by BioWare is because they made KOTOR.
Yeah, I definitely feel the KOTOR thing. But anyway, Mass Effect Andromeda confirmed March 21st, the day after my birthday.
Oh yeah, you got a reply from EA.
Oh my
Twitter.
gosh, I was so surprised. I was like, I did like 2 tweets to EA directly, and I said like, "Oh, I see how it is, EA. You're gonna upstage my birthday, but launch Andromeda the day after. I see how it is." And then I said another one. I said, I totally messed it up, and I meant to say like, I see you, EA. I think it came. I was like, IUC, EA. And then it was like continues to play Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
And they responded. I was really surprised. But
what did they respond with saying? Like fair play, Anchorman or something?
like good try or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was embarrassing. But it was a fun time though. Anyway, getting into one of our big 3 topics for the evening as we stall for time with fame. Switch Gang.
Woohoo!
Oh my god.
2 days. Well, for me it's 2 days because it's Tuesday here.
Yeah, it's practically 2 days for us too. Might as well be. But I'm looking at it. I'll let you guys talk about it first. What are your thoughts on the Switch? Based on what you know, what are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch?
Well, I've said before on this podcast that I think it is the worst thing to happen to VR. Because any money anybody ever thought of spending on that VR they're gonna look at the Switch, they're gonna see it is going to be cheaper than the VR headsets because it just is. And they're gonna think, what do I want? Do I want a new console from the greatest video game developers the world has ever known? Or do I want to get a toy?
That's twice as expensive.
And do I want to get a really expensive hat? You know, that isn't properly finished yet. That's the thing. And I just think for PSVR, which does have good games coming out for it, especially Resident Evil coming out in 2 weeks. 2 weeks today, actually. I'm very excited. Yeah. And then again, the games that will come out on the Switch, you know there's going to be something at launch which is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I trust Nintendo enough to have one thing at launch which is going to be amazing. They've done it every single time with every console launch. Yeah. It's not always a Mario, it's not always a Zelda, but something amazing.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. The only reason we bring up the Switch, well, I'll let Nick. Oh, first, I'm sorry, Nick. Well, tell us what your thoughts on Switch are.
Well, originally they were saying it was $400, and I was like, nope, not gonna get involved. But if it actually does come through for the $250 price point, it may be worthwhile, because especially if there's some form of digital console for Wii U games. Because as a lot of people know, I bought a Wii U day one with my wife, and we traded it in because there wasn't a lot of games for that early on. And then they started releasing all the games I actually wanted to play on a Nintendo console later. So if there's a virtual Wii U console included in that, so I can catch up on the Wii U games and new Nintendo games, plus some variety of games, you might have my interest. It's an interesting idea. But I'm telling you right now, there is no way in hell you'll ever see me riding the bus or taking an airplane playing with those dinky little controllers. That thing is staying locked into my house.
I think you'll change your mind when you need to get to that temple and you don't have any time. That's the thing.
Man, all right. My thoughts on the Switch. For me, I started this year thinking about I'm going multi-plat in particular this year, and I was debating about getting a PC, or I even just entertained the thought of the Switch, just because I was a little interested in their little reveal, specifically because Skyrim was shown, and you guys know me, I'm a big Bethesda guy, so I had to take a look at it. So it was teasing the idea of like the Switch is going to get Nintendo's getting third-party support from Bethesda, no less. I was like, I gotta listen to this. So I keep my ear to the ground, see what's going on in the Switch gang, hear the rumblings. And the big thing, we had two big pieces of news drop this morning. The Nintendo Switch has been priced in Japan in the Nikkei report. It's been leaked. It is going to be about 25,000 yen, which is, I think they're actually basically saying that it's going to be around $250. Now, for those of you that follow the marketing side and the business side of consoles, $250 is like the critical mass point for any console. Like that's when it starts selling gangbusters. At least if you're going off of 8th gen or 7th gen. Sorry, you're going off of 7th gen. When these consoles hit $250 price point, even when they were doing special deals to hit that, that's the magic number. That's when it just clicks and it just goes through. And one of the things that was just really interesting to see was the reaction to that, because that is immediately accessible. And like Nick was saying earlier with the VR, if you're given a choice between, okay, do I want to have a peripheral device, which is a new technology, which is great, but for $400, that's the price of a new PlayStation 4 or a Pro, more likely. It's not really worth it. Or I can get a brand new system for $250. Save that cost and get more out of it. And that's tempting. Like $250 is a tempting number, and I'm not gonna lie. I was like this close to say I'm gonna go PC this year, but that particular announcement perked my ears, got my interest.
And also the announcement that the Switch may actually come out at launch. Zelda may come out with the Switch at launch.
Mm-hmm. And not just that, actually, they were saying that they actually had a leak earlier from GameStop Germany showing the Nintendo Switch titles that are currently listed to come out for it. And some of these will probably be launch titles. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people stayed away from that Wii U this generation, so a lot of those Wii U games are going to get rehashed on the Switch. And they're going to pull people in. It's going to work. And here are the games that are listed supposedly by GameStop. Dragon Quest X, or X, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon, Mario Kart 8, NBA, I don't know what year it is, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Mario, a new Mario game. Oh boy, that required some real Nostradamus work there. Sonic, Monster Hunter, Dragon Quest 11, the couple placeholders, Just Dance 2017, Project Sonic 2017, and Lego City Undercover. I mean, these are not huge names towards the bottom, but Splatoon coming back? Like, people missed out on Splatoon. That's a fun game right there.
Okay, you know what? If they're bringing Splatoon back, they better have a party system this time. Playing a competitive shooter game without a party system. Hey.
Oh, man.
That's what I need to see. I need to see, and hopefully at this event we'll see it. We need to see what they're making steps in their actual software they're putting on this console. I don't care about having a little avatar called a me or anything like that. I want to have a working party system where you can actually sit with a headset and talk to somebody else that's playing the exact same console as you. And if there's an achievement system, I wouldn't complain either. Like, you know, other consoles have had that for like, what, 12 years?
Nearly 10.
Like, it's been forever. And party systems, like, I understand if there's certain aspects of things you don't want on your console. Like, if you don't want achievements, like, that's a nitty-gritty detail that really doesn't matter. But if you don't have a party system, how do you expect people to be social on your console? And like, there's been times I'll log onto my Xbox and I'm having a really bad day and I'll just join a party. I won't play anything. I'll just sit there and talk with my friends. You don't have that option with a Nintendo console. And if they were to fix that, I think they would have a wider audience.
But Nick, don't you know the only way to communicate with people with a Switch is to like go to rooftop parties and then bring your Switch, or like, play basketball with your bros, but then sit down but you can only play 2K, NBA 2K when playing basketball.
See, call me old-fashioned. I like to get hammered and stay at home. Rooftop parties are hazardous to my health.
Yeah, there's nothing more old-fashioned than staying at home.
And speaking of Switch, a wild Eric has appeared.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Good.
Hey, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Eric J, EC Jackson, member of the...
New member.
Awesome.
Master
member of Rap Podcast and a senior editor for Real Game Media. And
nice.
Thanks, Anchor, for having me jump in. Appreciate it.
Oh man, we're about to get started, man. We're talking about that Switch first, though.
Switch.
They are making this real appealing for me right now. If all they got to do for me is they got to show that they're giving this support. As long as Bethesda's giving support, they will have my.
They got you on board.
Man, if
third-party stuff,
if Nintendo puts out a Mario RPG game, I'll buy 10 Nintendo Switches. Okay.
I'm holding you to that, by the way.
Well, I reckon that they'll move Paper Jam from the 3DS onto the Switch.
You know what? You know what else they need to bring over? They made it.
They're bringing Monster Hunter to it, so why not bring the best of the 3DS onto the Switch?
Yeah, merge the gap.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, because this is definitely the console of any consoles that we know are coming out. This is the one to bridge the gap between home and handheld. And who does handheld better than anyone else ever? Nintendo.
And that's a fact. That's an honest fact. I can't think of anyone else who does handhelds better.
Yeah, and for a long time.
Though the Vita is an amazing handheld, it's not a 3DS.
Yeah. It's not. All right. The event. The one thing everyone is here for. Bring back.
Cookies and popcorn?
I love this. Soundmaster General is really bringing it up. Oh, man.
I need more. I've only got 12.
So, here's the deal. As some of you guys know, as soon as most of you guys are watching, it has been announced that Scalebound has been officially canceled from Microsoft. It's just, I got my own thoughts about this. All right, James, I want you to tell me what you told me when I told you Scalebound got canceled.
I have no earthly idea what Scalebound is.
That's a take.
I have heard of Scalebound, and I know that it it was a video game, and that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It.
Top-notch Microsoft marketing at its finest.
Yeah.
And considering the fact they've been showing this game off at every E3 since 2014, and we have a guy who doesn't even know what it is, and that's not his fault. That's Microsoft's fault, but also, you know, Kamaya and Platinum. That.
Yeah.
I'll save my thoughts. I will wait.
Not to go off on a tangent on that, but what's the major difference now with Microsoft, you know, advertising and promotion versus like last gen? Because last gen, it was like they got behind so many titles and just pushed them. But it seems like now it's like hit or miss. Like you see a few things and then that's kind of it.
Yeah. I think a lot of that started the same way the 360 did. Like, remember all the games they had at the beginning of 360?
Oh man, it was like like Scrooge's money pit, just diving in. Something for everyone.
They had so much stuff going in at the beginning of 360, and after that, it all faded away to just Halo, Gears, and Forza.
Mm-hmm.
Like it boiled down to those things, and that was towards the end when they were like, that's what's making money. We're at top of the fleet this time. We can do what we want, and that was their peak.
Right.
And that was like they didn't care. They didn't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a problem. And so this generation, they put the money into it. Like, hey, we got Sunset Overdrive, we got Scalebound, we got Quantum Break, we got all this stuff. And so far, out of all of them, there's only been one new IP that I would consider truly great, and probably my favorite new IP this generation, Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement.
Titanfall. Okay.
Okay, good. If you said Recore, I'd slap you.
So what did you say?
I said if you said Recore, I was gonna slap you.
Viva Pinata.
Yeah, that's a whole different podcast we could do just on Recore. But
the podcast that we've done.
Oh yeah, we've done that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. But I'm thoroughly convinced this generation, anything Fame likes is horrible. Like if you get a Fame Entertainment endorsement, your whole development's going to be plagued.
So
like,
what we need to do
canceled.
We need to get Fame to endorse Call of Duty and see what happens.
Oh God, what was it? It was he endorsed Recore. So Recore is going to be it. It's going to be the best game of 2015, 16.
South Park, Fractured Butthole is going to be
Park,
it. Is the game of 2016 delayed?
I didn't know. So Fame's a mush.
Scalebound's going to be the best game of 2017. Canceled.
Wait, how much did he like the Fable series?
I'm seeing a trend.
I don't even know. Oh man, it's just I feel bad for him sometimes. Everything he loves dies. Oh man.
No, anyway. I'm with you on Sunset though. That game deserves a better fate than what it got. It was that one game when I looked at it, it just took me back to like Dreamcast days, like OG Xbox days. And I was like, that game, it looks like the type of game that should be on an Xbox system.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of just took me back immediately. I know it has like, the jet grind, feel to it and stuff like that, but it was colorful. It was fun. It wasn't trying to do the drab, boring thing, But yeah, definitely deserved better. Definitely deserves a sequel. And it's just sad.
So what was Scalebound going to be?
Scalebound was supposed to be this kind of like mixed, like it's not really co-op either. It was kind of like this westernized Japanese RPG kind of thing. It was going to have like 4-player co-op, and it was you interacting with your dragon. It was like a Dragon Rider kind of game. It looked really interesting.
That sounds really cool.
Gameplay, but it ran like crap.
Yeah, now see, I felt like I was like crazy because I remember when they first showed it at E3 and they were, doing a little demo, and I was like, this I understand it's a little ways out, but I'm like, this doesn't look very good. I mean, it looks very choppy. It looked very sparse. It looked very, yeah. So, and I told a buddy of mine that he's like, oh, I'm talking, it looked fantastic to me. And I'm like, we're looking at two different things. And then you fast forward to the Gamescom demo, and I'm looking at this boss fight. I'm like, okay, it's a big crab on screen, and they're shooting arrows at it that don't seem to be doing anything to it.
Wait, was there a crab in the footage?
Yeah, the whole screen.
Ooh. There's a bad history with crabs and game launchers. Let's not forget. There's a genuine science to this. Mate, does everybody remember the launch of the PS3 on the at E3? Mm-hmm. Remember that game that had loads of crabs? Exactly. You don't. There you go. And may I remind you about Death Stranding's first trailer?
Yeah, there were crabs in there.
Yeah, there were crabs in that too. You're right.
Crab.
And squirrels.
Okay, come on.
We
can't pick on Death Stranding. We all know that's not coming until 2021. So like,
I can pick on those trailers as much as I like.
Yeah.
As I said before, for those trailers, there is either nothing to talk about or entirely too much.
Yeah. So real quick, I want to kind of go over the reasons why Scalebound was delayed. Like, there's a lot of speculation going on right now. No one really knows exactly what it was. All we have confirmed so far is that Microsoft and Platinum Games have separated, and they stopped working on the game last year. Anyone else have heard of why they stopped? Out of curiosity,
I've heard two things.
Yeah.
So first one, Microsoft canceled it because it wasn't going anywhere and development cycle was slow, and they needed it to come out for its projected date. The other one I read, and I cannot find the source of it, I'd have to scroll through my Twitter, is that the lead developer, I cannot remember his name for the life of me.
Maya.
Yeah, he had to take a stress leave, and a couple of the developers took stress leaves because of the deadlines that Microsoft was setting for this game, and the game fell behind due to these leaves, and that the game kept missing its deadlines. So Microsoft cut the cord on the game because Platinum Games could not deliver on what they were projected to pull off. And considering Platinum Games' train record, seeing as that awful Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game was just pulled off of Xbox, PSN, and Steam, I'm not honestly surprised that this was a problem. Scalebound was a very, very difficult game for someone to pull off, and I think they picked the wrong studio, to be 100% honest. Scalebound, just sell that to Bethesda and give it 4 years, and we'll have a good game.
When has Bethesda made anything good with dragons? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
EA's looking at you with those Dragon Age Inquisition games.
With the death of Scalebound, I've basically lost any interest I had in any JRPG. Like, I don't normally care, but this seems kind of par for the course, though. I as far as the notable JRPGs go, I mean, they take a long time to make. And for at least with Japanese devs making an RPG-esque game, it takes a long time to make.
What are you talking about? Final Fantasy 15, but it took no time to make.
Yeah. What was it announced again?
At the launch of the PS3.
Or what was it with Team Ico? What was it?
Last Guardian?
Last Guardian.
Yeah.
So what we've basically figured out is that Microsoft...
Yeah, but both of those are pretty good, actually.
Microsoft will sit there and develop a game for about 2-3 years. If it starts going anywhere, they'll just cut the cord, where Sony will sit there and sink money into it for however many years it takes, because they know it'll hopefully pay off in the end.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, for all intents and purposes, yeah.
And
it's like there is that...
But then you get games like Kingdom Hearts 3, which takes forever and keeps getting delayed, and everyone's just like, we'll wait.
Nothing brings me more joy than reading out the Kingdom Hearts titles. Just the names. Kingdom Hearts 2.8 final chapter prologue.
Yeah, I can't.
What does that mean?
I can't even keep up with like what they're called.
Okay,
Final
you know what?
chapter prologue. What?
No,
Is it the prologue of the final chapter, or
I don't know.
my biggest problem is when your game's taking so long to develop. In between 2 and 3, you need to start making point insert number here editions of it. That's a problem.
or
Okay.
episodic?
And like, I don't know why anyone ever thinks Square Enix will ever develop a game in a timely fashion.
No.
They're like, oh, this Square game's gonna release this fall. No, it ain't. Give it 2 years. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 was what? E3 2013?
Yeah, 2013. So it was a big deal. It was,
E3 2013. And do we even have gameplay trailers?
No. See, this is the thing that kills me about this is like part of it's an industry symptom where we keep announcing stuff way too early. Like you could get away with it back in 2013 because it was like, okay, it's the beginning of a generation. You're trying to sell people on the next generation. Yeah, their games aren't going to be like just ready yet, but why would you announce it so early? Like a lot of these games, because Scalebound was 2014, it wasn't a part of the launch lineup, but they showed this game off. And like, why would you show something you have no intention of it releasing anytime soon? Like
maybe they had the intention.
Not planned on it being this long.
Right.
They did, but like, okay, the 2016 delay, like 1 year ago, was like the big moment. That was it. Like that was the time where, all right, this is do or die. You need to finish it this year, 2017 release.
Before you go any further, fame is here.
The man whose everything he loves dies.
Man, fuck Xbox right now. That's how I feel. My bad.
Whoa. Shot fired.
And for somebody jumping, fame, you a fanboy, you a funny man. Listen, I rock with all consoles, right? Xbox is my preference. Everybody knows it's my preference. But the difference between me and some of these cats out here is that I can tell the truth about my preference. I can be objective about my preference. And right now, how I feel, F Xbox. And everything Xbox stands for right now, because it's about to be 2017, year of Scorpio. And what news that we got this year? Oh, we canceling one of your biggest games of the year. Ain't no, we dropping this game for y'all, we dropping this, got release dates, this is what we giving y'all. No, 2017 starts off with, y'all not getting Scalebound. Fuck Xbox.
Whoa, all right. Man,
what's going on, people?
What's up, Face?
My bad, y'all. You know what?
You know what, Faye? I want to address that because we talked about that on BRAP. We said the term fanboy used to be a good thing. Like you had passion, you had love, you had everything for the thing that you like, right? There's nothing wrong with being critical. You got to have criticism and praise. So there's nothing wrong with being that. But it seems like if you're critical, you're instantly like pony bot, whatever the case may be. But the things that you love, you should be able to be critical about it. If you're upset, you should be able to vocalize that and not be a hater. I'm throwing up air quotes right now. You know what I'm saying?
If you are a Xbox only gamer, no PC, no PS4, what do you have to look forward to this year that you know is coming out this year? That you know nothing. At this point, they can just cancel all these games. At this point, I mean, what is there to look forward to? I am primarily a game on Xbox, and I have nothing to look forward to right now. Scalebound was one of my biggest and most anticipated games from last year and this year. And so 2017 hit, I'm like, it's going to be a dope year. Scorpio coming out. They can drop these games. Nope, they're taking away games. Doesn't make any sense. You could at least come out and say, you know what? Scalebound, it ain't going to happen, but you know what? We got this, and this.
2017, March 31st.
Like, oh, no, don't forget, guys. We got Forza 7 coming out this year, and we may give you Crackdown, maybe. Like, no. Like, you're completely, like, spitting in the face of your fan base. Like, what is Xbox bringing right now? Nothing. And it's like I said, it's a primarily Xbox gamer. My preference. And it's giving me nothing. Really gave me anything.
You've got a Halo game coming out this year.
Man, they ain't giving us nothing.
Halo Wars 2.
They're not giving us anything. Give us new IPs. Give us a new game.
Thieves.
Bruh, listen. This is what I'm saying, bruh. I'll be shocked to see if these ever even come out. Number one, it was a game that was supposed to be a $6 game that turned into a free-to-play, just like Fable Legends. And look what happened to Fable Legends.
Free-to-play, though.
Yes, it
I
is.
know there was that rumor, but they came out and said that's not true.
Man.
They did? When they say that? I thought it was still a free-to-play.
Yeah, it's a free-to-play, fam.
No, I looked it up. I looked it up like the other day because I heard someone else say that, and I was looking it up, and the rumors started like at E3. They came out and said, no, there's not a free-to-play game.
At this point, ain't no game coming out this year for Xbox. Crackdown ain't coming out. Cuphead ain't coming out. Sea of Thieves ain't coming out. We know Scalebound ain't coming out. What we gonna get this year? Forza 7. That's coming out for sure.
Yeah, Forza 7 would be.
That's it. If you only on Xbox, the only game you gotta look forward to right now is Forza 7 because you don't have a release date for none of that. I'm surprised Rise of Shine is coming out. Thank you, Adult Swim, for making the game come out on my Xbox this year. I'm just a pissed off Xbox fan. I apologize, y'all. I'm just a pissed off Xbox fan right now. Pissed.
I'll get it out, man. Pissed
because this is why I tell everybody from Jump Street. You need to own all the consoles because you're gonna be upset if you don't. And I promise you, at this rate, I'm not buying a Scorpio. I'm getting me a PC.
Nah, Switch Gang, man. Switch Gang.
Oh yeah, that's day one. That's day one. The Switch is day one. I'm buying that, no doubt.
PS4.
All right, so
I have a PS4.
I'm gonna reel this in because I saw this pop up in my Twitter feed, and there's no way I can let this slide. I literally just read an article that was titled, this is the actual title, While Scalebound Doesn't Matter Because Xbox Scorpio.
That's stupid.
Now, see that? Yeah, that's to me. That's dumb. That's
okay.
Just,
So here's my problem. Okay?
We're not talking about who wrote that, by the way. We're not talking about that.
No, we're not talking about that. You already know who it is anyway. So my biggest problem here, I'm with Fame on this. I only own an Xbox. I owned a 360 and I had a PS3 at the start of last gen. I was actually a PlayStation gamer, old gen. Switched to 360 after that whole credit card fraud and lost a bunch of money thing. That was fun. Hard to be an Xbox fan when there's absolutely nothing to look forward to. I don't care if the exclusives are crossplay on PC. I have an Xbox, which means I look forward to the games that come to the Xbox. But honestly, they're nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
There's nothing to look forward to. It's time to build a PC.
I'm going to get nailed for this on Twitter and comment sections, but I hate Forza games. You play one Forza game, you've pretty much played them all. I played Horizons 1, started playing Horizons 2. I was like, man, this is just the same. It gets better, but it's pretty much the same. It's like playing a Halo game, like playing a Gears of War game. They're good games, but they're the same. It's repetitive. I want to see new things. I want to see Microsoft step outside the box, bring something new. I don't want to see rehash games. I'm tired of seeing sequels and sequels and sequels. Like everyone always said, all the Xbox guys in my Twitter timeline are always like, oh, all Sony does is release sequels. Yeah, well, at least the sequels are A, good. B, they release games that are actually different and have variety. I can go onto a PS4 store and find a game that even I like. And if anyone says, oh, the PS4 has no games I like, then literally you don't like any games at all. All right? They got 80. They got literally 80 plus exclusives on the PS4. And right now, Xbox is walking around being like, yeah, having 5 exclusives right now, that's okay. It's not. Exclusives sell your consoles. Casual people aren't going to buy a console when you see, like, if you walk down an aisle at Walmart. I did this with one of my coworkers. He bought a PS4 recently. When you walk down the aisle at Walmart and you look at the game section of the PS4, and there's all these wide varieties game, all these games, and you look at the Xbox section, 98% of it's also in the PlayStation section. Where's someone going to buy the console?
If you only own an Xbox right now, you're a fool. I'm sorry. You're a fool.
Broke.
I understand that, but if you're one of those, oh, I'm not buying me a PS4, or I'm not gonna buy me a Nintendo. If you only own Xbox right now, you are a fool, and you are depriving yourself of gaming because you missed out on so much stuff, and Xbox ain't delivering by itself. You can own a PS4 right now, only own a PS4 right now, and be happy gaming because you got so many titles you can play, look forward to. On Xbox, you gotta look forward to multiplats. I'm sorry, it's the truth.
See, that's kind of like where I am, because like I'm primarily like mostly a single player, gamer. Like I'll jump into some multiplayer stuff. So for me, like Sea of Thieves, unless there's like a major single player component, I will pick it up if others do, to join in the fun. But that's not a game that I'm primarily hyped for.
All right, here's, by the way, speaking of Sea of Thieves, it has been confirmed it is not free to play. At E3 20, I'm reading an article from Eurogamer. It says, Rare has finally laid a matter to rest at E3 2016. Sea of Thieves is not free to play. The Sea of Thieves design director, Greg Mails, told Eurogamer, we've done a lot of thinking about the business model. One thing I can tell you is that it's not free to play. We didn't say anything last year. Then some people made stuff up. It looks free to play.
Well, you know what?
It will not be free to play.
If that's the case, I need to apologize to Broken Games HD, because I was going back and forth with him on Twitter last night, and he was saying how Sea of Thieves could, for all we know, could come out to be No Man's Sky pretty much. And I was like, no, you can't compare because it's a free to play. My bad, Broken Games HD. I apologize. I was right. You was wrong. For all we know, it could end up being No Man's Sky. I thought it was a free to play.
What they did say is that there are some free to play elements to the game in terms of like monetization later, but that it is not free to play. So I mean, that's what they're saying on that one. I assume,
but it's not. But for me personally, it's not a hype title. It's a curious title, like because it's rare. It comes with a developer who we all have fond memories of. So I'm intrigued and curious, but I haven't seen a ton on it, so I'm not really. I can't say I'm hyped for it. State of Decay 2. I never played the first one. It just didn't intrigue me in that realm. Halo Wars 2. Don't care about it.
See, I'm all about that AA space right now. Games used to be different statuses. It wasn't always either you're a AAA game or an indie game. There were games that occupied the middle ground they have a budget, but they're still good games, and they were willing to try something different. These are games like Styx Master of Shadows, where it's a stealth game, but it's a budget game.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I'm all about those types of games, but I'm saying, but these in particular, like Halo Wars 2 and State of Decay, they're just
these are AA games,
right? But neither one of them really, No.
See,
that's the thing. I like those kinds of games. I like the lineup that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But for the AAA gamer, there's nothing coming out right now that can really capture the imagination, because Halo Wars 2 is a niche title. It's for the real-time strategy people, for the overhead view, which is not a lot of people. In terms of the percentage of gamers, it's not a lot of people. Then you got State of Decay 2, which is kind of the same thing, but I mean, it could bring people in because it's co-op. I mean, I think it'll be more successful than the first one. But State of Decay 2, another zombie game. I don't like zombie games as a general principle. The only zombie game you'll get me to come back for is Left 4 Dead 3, which we all know Valve can't count to 3. So that's
right.
I'm so sick of Microsoft with this PR space time. We got other unannounced games or other stuff to surprise you in 2017. No, you don't. At E3, you're going to probably show us State of Decay, Cuphead, and stuff we already know about and say, oh, what a great show. Here goes Project Scorpio. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just really pissed off. I'm pissed right now. I need to call off Mike. I'm going to mute myself for a minute. I'm pissed.
No, I've said this to others, and I've actually gone on record on Twitter saying this. I have no problem with Scorpio coming. I have no problem with Power. I have no problem with games looking better. But, ultimately, Power without anything really to play on it, what does that really mean? So, they get up on stage at E3, and I'm really hoping that they do bring it. But I don't know, this whole thing of 14 new games coming and this and that, we'll see how that.
I believe it when I see it.
Exactly. So I'm not going to sit here and say that they won't have anything, but I'm going to be really hot if they get up there.
I'm done being hyped about Xbox. I was hyped for Record, and it was a letdown. I was hyped for Scalebound. We're not ever going to get it. I was looking forward to Fable Legends. I was in a beta. I was enjoying that game. It never came to fruition. I'm like, I'm done.
There's the answer.
I'm done being hyped. I'm done being hyped for Xbox games. I can't. If it's not out, I don't care about it.
Why can't you be hyped for Call of Duty fame? Everything you love dies.
No, but I said I really hope that they don't spend any E3 time talking about Scorpio. I hope that they kind of do that, before we get into E3. But I said I'm really going to be hot if the talk around Scorpio is what we've been hearing, like a Halo 3 anniversary, like remaster for Scorpio. Again, that's not going to move me.
No, see, do you know what? The only way, what they should do with Scorpio, if they want to launch Scorpio properly, as everybody knows, I hate Scorpio conversation because it takes away from games. People only care about specs. They won't talk about
exactly.
games. They just want to talk about what's going to be in the hardware. If they really want to show off Scorpio, what they do is they start their E3 off. They just show games. Just what Sony did at 2016 E3. Games. And at the end of it, you say all run on Xbox Scorpio, and that'll sell the console itself.
This is how we know for a fact that Microsoft will not have any games coming out if they wait until E3 to reveal Scorpio. Because they're going to have to take up time to show about price, specs. They're going to have to. If they don't reveal Scorpio before E3, they ain't got no games coming out this year, fam. I'm sorry, they won't. Because they got to spend up too much time talking about the console. The
only way they could do Scorpio at E3 is if they treat it like the Xbox One S, where it's literally just maybe 10 minutes of the conference. Like, but then you're going to leave like. There you go.
You're gonna leave yourself open to so many open questions. You're gonna have to explain to us the differences in between the two consoles. You're gonna have to explain to us how much more power we're getting. You're gonna have just like the Sony took time and did a conference to explain the difference between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. Microsoft has to do this so they don't leave no question, no doubt into what the consumers are getting. If they do that at E3, gamers are not going to buy it because they're not going to buy it day one because they don't know what they're getting themselves into. They have to do a separate conference. And if they wait until E3, that lets me know that there's a lot of fluff coming and they don't have that many games coming out this year because E3 should be about the games.
Yep, that's my argument. I don't want to see any Scorpio stuff at E3. Don't devote any major chunk of time talking about that.
Now, here's the thing. I want to kind of steer the conversation back to Scalebound for a minute. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute. I agree with Microsoft from a business perspective. Not looking at it as a consumer, not looking at it as a fan, but you look if you enter a contract with another studio and they say, hey, we're going to work on this game. Here's a projected timeline. Here's when we want the game to come out. And they say, okay, sign the deal. Here's your money. Let's roll. And they do one delay, and it's like, no, if it was 6 months, it'd be like, all right, that's a delay. We'll let it happen. Don't worry about it. But they come out and say, oh, we want to delay 6 months. And they say, okay, well, we'll do that. And they come out and they say, well, we want to delay a year. And because remember, this happened last year in 2016. They said, well, it's not coming out this year. It's coming out 2017. They wanted a whole year on top of it. And they said, okay, this is do or die. You need to come out by this time. If you're not done, contract's over. And here we are. From what we're hearing, it looks like Kamaya did all the stress leaves and this kind of stuff. And they weren't ready to do Scalebound. And they backed out.
Who owns the IP?
I think it was from a business perspective. It makes sense what they did. It was a project that was sucking money that was already just going to appeal to a small community of people anyway. From a business perspective, it makes sense cutting the game because you don't string people along this long if it's not going to come out anytime soon. I'm against that completely. I believe in the birth in the birth period. Do not announce a game until you're ready to deliver that game within 9 months.
Who owns the IP?
I believe Microsoft does, if I read correctly.
Yeah, I think they do.
Because I'm seeing stuff where people posted from people in NeoGAF saying, "Oh, now I'm so happy the game got canceled. Now that means Platinum will never make another Microsoft exclusive again." I got my fingers crossed, hoping that this becomes a PS4 exclusive.
Fame, did you say you saw that on NeoGAF?
People on NeoGAF are saying
then it must be true. There's no reason ever lied.
But that's what made me bring up the question: who owns?
Yeah, no, Microsoft owns it. So technically speaking, if they wanted to, they could take the base for this game and give it to another studio. Likelihood of that happening since they announced canceling it, though, it's slim to none. What you may see, and I'm playing hyper optimistic. What you may see down the road is if you're really hyped for what Scalebound was gonna be, it might become a game down the road with a different name, a different story, but some of the I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to use here, but some of the things people are looking forward to about that game, like some of the the dragon, that kind of thing, you may see that pop up in another game down the line that was
think about this.
Scalebound.
Think about this. It's like the same thing happened with Phantom Dust. Remember, we got a whole new Phantom Dust game?
Yep.
And now what are we getting? We're getting a A port.
Remaster.
It's a port. I'm sorry. It's gonna be a port. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be a freaking port. And remember, that game supposed to be a whole new game. All this. All of a sudden, we didn't hear about it. All of a sudden, council. Oh no, another company's gonna work on it. Ain't no other company gonna work on Scalebound. We'll never see this game. It'll never come today. But like I said, we're gonna ask people on NeoGAF for saying they hope it becomes a PS4 exclusive now.
Can I just say, listening to Fame talk about this can only remind me of this piece of music.
What are you? I don't hear anything. Hey, you're an asshole.
No, please talk over this. It's hilarious.
Oh boy.
You're an asshole.
You know what? I read something today after Scalebound was canceled, and it was actually hilarious. It's kind of something to think about. Is that, as everyone knows, the head of Xbox before Phil Spencer was the ever infamous Matrick,
right.
however you pronounce his last name. The guy who fluffed and screwed up the launch of the Xbox One at E3 2013.
Mm-hmm.
But as someone pointed out, you know, back when he ran the company, there was a lot of exclusives. There was a lot of games getting pushed out. And you know what? He did a really good job making sure there was a lot of reasons to play that console. Like, I got a lot of respect for Phil Spencer as an individual. He's a great guy, and his
but
PR
what has he done for the brand? Like, as far as games.
Like Phil Spencer says he's all about the games, but I'm not seeing any games. And like, I like the guy. He is extremely communicative on Twitter. You tweet him, he'll answer questions, everything else. But it's just not bringing the games. Like on 360, does anyone remember the 360 arcade?
Yeah.
For God's sakes, go in there with like $20, pick up like 4 different games.
Yeah.
And there was all these varieties of games you could get that I don't think you could get on other consoles. I don't know, but I'm assuming you couldn't. But like, there was all these great games, and it's something we're sadly lacking this generation is diversity on the Xbox console. Because the Xbox console, you used to have like the weird JRPG titles. You used to have some of the like really off the wall stuff, because you know what? The way they looked at it, by bringing it costs. If you bring a third-party title to your console and sell it digitally, it costs you almost nothing to bring that game to your console. So even if it only sells 100,000, 200,000, that's still money in the bank. Not every game has to sell Uncharted numbers. You just got to start pounding out games that make a little bit of money. You don't have to make money hand over fist with every game you make.
Exactly.
And even if you release a
budget game,
you don't need to make money hand over fist, and not every game needs to be a AAA title. Not every exclusive Sony has released has been a knockout of the park. There has been mediocre ones. There has been, but Sony never canceled or pulled the game just because it wasn't meeting their standards. They still pushed it through. And even if the game was kind of mediocre, it still brought money back and made up for the loss of the project. You cancel something, you're not getting any money for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you're saying you're having your gamers, your core gamers' interests at heart when you cancel something, and I don't disagree with canceling something and not selling someone a broken $70 game is a bad thing. But when you say you have gamers' best interests at heart, you better be giving them more games on top of that. If this was Xbox 360 and this game got delayed, Microsoft would have had another 5 games to keep you interested in that console. It doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say, like, when it comes to Scalebound, like we said before, it probably wasn't going to be that type of game that did gangbusters, but it was a game that was like definitely looked for from different people. It was definitely a game that was anticipated. So when you pull that type of game away, even if it wasn't going to be majorly supported, possibly, it does leave a big hole.
It's a promise. It was a promise they made, and not only made in 2014, then they reiterated in 2015, and then reiterated again in 2016. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. I don't care about the game itself. I lost interest when they delayed it to 2017 in the first place. But it's the fact they promised that it was coming and then did so and pretended like it was coming out anyway. And again, I don't know all the situation behind it. We don't know what ultimately was going on in the back rooms, but it was wrong. And Microsoft, you got to get down on both knees right here, man. You got to do something.
And that's the thing. Like, every day I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, Is Xbox going to drop some news today? Are they going? Every day goes by and nothing happens. So I'm like, okay. The only thing I can look forward to tomorrow from Xbox is a Gears of War 4 commercial. Literally, I can look forward to a Gears of War 4 commercial tomorrow. That's it. I don't look forward to anything else. It's all crap. Nothing to look forward to.
James, stop. Let's talk.
Oh, yeah, I'm done. So I'm sorry.
No, I'm literally the only thing we're sitting here waiting for Xbox to do anything because right now, like I said, they got to be on their knees. They're at the mercy of gamers right now, and people are pissed because the only thing we have to look forward to tomorrow is a Gears of War 4 commercial. Like you're not telling us anything. You want what you want to try to. You're in no position to keep things close to the vest. You're in no position. You have to give us a reason to hype about this console. Give us a reason to go out and buy this console. Give us a reason to keep our console. Because right now, I don't have a single reason to do it. Because I can't expect for games to come out because you're either going to cancel them or you're going to continue to delay them. I don't want to keep seeing Gears of War 4 commercials. I don't. Give me something else.
Yep, that's the thing. But we got to move on to the last topic for the night. We got to wrap it up. This has been great, by the way. This has been a good show. Speaking of delays, there's been another one that's been kind of making the rounds a little bit. Not from what I get, it's not completely confirmed, but it's all but said to be true. I'm taking a look at a website called BatmanOnFilm.com. It's a fairly reputable site. They've been around for quite a while in internet terms. And this is in regards to the upcoming Ben Affleck solo Batman movie called The Batman. This film was actually set to start filming in spring. And they got both Jeremy Irons and Joe Manganiello, I can never pronounce his name, to be in it. So they got Deathstroke and Alfred Pennyworth. And this has been an issue. The plan was that they wanted to start filming in 2017, early 2017. Apparently, according to one of the website's sources, the Batman has been, quote unquote, pushed back for at least a couple of months. It seems to
they must be working with Microsoft.
It seems to be true, and it looks like it won't even start filming until like either late summer, I guess. And they're looking with a possible release date. Before it was supposed to be like July 2018 was the release date. Now it looks like it might be 2019. And so there's a lot of speculation going on about why the movie is getting delayed. Mm-hmm. One of the big things is that the script is still not done. Because the big issue is they brought Jeff Johns on to work on the script and kind of get the whole world together. And it's been a little messed up. Let's calm down. One of the other things too is apparently, let's see, I'm just going to pull this up exactly. It says one of the things earlier was that they said there's speculation whether or not Ben Affleck even wants to be in the movie at this point.
Wow.
Because he was told that he was supposed to be the director and screenwriter, which they're kind of giving that role to somebody else with Jeff Johns getting involved.
I don't think he ever wanted to write it.
He was listed to be so.
He's never written any of the films that he's directed.
And the other big thing in particular is Justice League apparently is a total mess. That's supposed to
really? What a surprise! There was no inclination that it would be anything other than that.
Yeah.
I see. All I gotta say is I think DC Comics and Warner Brothers and Microsoft all need to throw a party together. I think that'd be a fun.
Yeah. Whenever I see these reports,
throw it because they'd keep delaying it. That's the thing.
No, but whenever I see these reports about Justice League and the Batman, and they say speculation, rumor, I'm like, that's fact because we see what they've given us already. I'm like, whenever there's smoke, there's fire. These are facts. It's a mess. I guarantee it's a mess because. I mean, Zack Snyder said himself that these characters are not hardcore enough for him. They're not edgy enough for him. So you saw the mess he put out with Batman versus Superman, starting with Man of Steel. Yep. So I'm not at all surprised. And I'm like, at this point, I have no hope for Wonder Woman.
The main problem with the DC universe that they're doing is not that they're making bad films. They are, but that's not the problem. Is that every time they make one, the the expectation on the next one doubles, and then that doubles and that doubles. That's why Suicide Squad went through such extensive reshoots and rewrites, and we ended up with the mess that I truly believe if you watch that film on shuffle, it will make as much sense as if you watch it in the way the filmmakers intended it to. There's so much pressure on Wonder Woman. There's so much pressure on Justice League. It's making a very hostile environment at DC to make those films, whereas Marvel, they have license to give James Gunn just all the time he wants to make a random Guardians film. And let's not forget that Thor Ragnarok is coming out this year. This is going to be one of the weirdest big budget Hollywood films we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's supposed to be Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Thor, and what was it? What's his name? Beta Ray Bill.
Right.
Jeff Goldblum, Kate Blanchett are in this film.
Movies, this would make no sense at all.
And then you've got the fact that it's written and directed by the man whose major contribution to the screen so far is a fake documentary about a colony of vampires in New Zealand.
Yep. Like Marvel at this point can do no wrong. Like everyone's down.
Which is great, and I love that.
And that's the thing, though. It's they laid the foundation. No one believed they could do it with every other movie with Iron Man. They didn't think Iron Man was going to be a success. Bam.
And because that's why it worked, is because they started with something that no one believed in.
It's all in foundation. If your foundation is faulty, your product will be faulty.
Like imagine if the DC universe had started with Suicide Squad.
Oh god.
I don't mean the film that we have. I mean if they started with a Suicide Squad film.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon they'd be in a much better place.
Give that to Zack Snyder. That's more in his wheelhouse. I mean, you see what he did with Watchmen. I think Suicide Squad would have been a better fit for him.
Yeah, because Watchmen is such a good film. Zack Snyder shouldn't be directing movies. He should be a great cinematographer. I truly believe that. I think he's one of the best visual artists we have working with massive budgets. And he should have somebody standing next to him going, no, that doesn't work story-wise.
It's like you direct the choreography, you choose the fight scene, we'll trust you. Everything else, no.
Not even that. Put him in charge of lighting. Put him in charge of lighting, visual design, cinematography, and the making of trailers. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't even put him in charge of the making of trailers after the Batman versus Superman. Hey, let's reveal Doomsday.
But he wasn't in charge of that trailer.
I don't care.
That's the point. That's the point I made.
Director, all the blame goes to you. I don't care. He signed off on it.
I don't know. One of the things that drives me crazy about, like when people talk Batman versus Superman, they say, I don't know, I was entertained. I'm like, no, you can't have the trinity of like superhero characters and be entertained. You're supposed to come out of there. You're supposed to come out of there with your mind blown. Not just.
It was, but in the wrong way.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Fane. What are your thoughts on this? Do you care? Are you done?
I don't care. I'm at the point now with everything in life. I'm just gonna sit back and wait for it to release. I concur. I'm not gonna be hyped for anything else in life. If my wife tells me she's pregnant, I'll be hyped when I see the baby.
Wow. That's
Fame is so damaged by this now that he's gonna be sitting there as his wife gets pregnant. He's gonna be looking at her and be like, "Is it gonna get delayed?"
Yeah, delayed. That baby delayed.
He's just gonna look at it. He's gonna hold his child in his arms as that first moment of life, and he's just gonna go 7 out of 10.
Maybe needs a day one patch.
Yeah.
By the way, as we wrap up the show,
there's a problem. It doesn't really talk.
So, as we gotta wrap up this show, but before you guys think we hate Xbox, Fane, why don't you tell them about that Xbox One S giveaway?
Yeah, we're giving away Xbox One giveaway, man. I hope y'all want it because I don't know if anybody can pull back that thing. Nobody want that console no more. Now, I'll just giving away an Xbox One S console. I want to say that it ends at the end of this month. I gotta look at it. I think I set the date wrong. I want to say the contest ends at the end of the month because I wanted to get it out of the way because we have another console that's supposed to drop this year that we're supposed to be giving away. Wink, wink. That's a secret. Don't tell nobody.
Does it start with an S?
Yes. Wink, wink. Don't tell nobody. So it's a secret that as soon as we get a release about that console, that we should be having a giveaway up running for it. So,
is it a Is it a SNES?
Nope.
Yes.
We're not talking about. It could. Lots of consoles start with S.
We giving away Sega Dreamcasts.
People would sign up for it. I promise you.
All right.
That was a console, man.
All right. I want to thank everybody for showing up. It's been a real good show. Probably one of the best shows. Probably the best show, the best Multiverse podcast 2017 by far.
I apologize for cussing y'all. Bad day, and then this Scalebound news kind of hit me kind of hard. So my bad. I'll be more docile next week, and I'll be on time next week because I'm actually off for Martin Luther King Day. So,
same here.
Buddy.
Oh man, I'm excited about that. Oh man! All right, so real quick, just to do some quick outros for everybody. I want to thank our special guests showing up randomly as usual. You guys know how it works on Multiverse here. There are no sacred guests. Everyone just jumps right in. E.C. Jackson.
Hey guys, thanks for having me tonight. Really appreciate it. Be sure to check us out Wednesday nights on Basement Radio Arcade Podcast at 9:00, and also check out realgamesmedia.com. For news, reviews, and unbiased opinion.
Mm-hmm. And we got my co-host who finally showed up, Fame.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Fame Entertainment here from TICGN.com. I do apologize for being late. Life seems to keep getting in my way. I hate the fact we have to work to play video games. It is ridiculous. It is time for me to win the lottery. But as a reminder, yes, we do have a giveaway up on our website for Xbox One S. And we'll have another giveaway up shortly after that as you guys deserve for another console that begins with the word S. If you figure out what that console is, I may tell you guys ahead of time. But yeah, thank you guys for joining the greatest podcast on the Mondays, the Multiverse Podcast. Let's go!
All right, and my other co-host, Undead.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed the unsurmountable levels of rage we hit on this podcast. You can follow me at Undead3XVI. You can find me on tickgn.com. And you can also find me at YouTube if you're so inclined.
All right, and our Sound Master General, Mr. Swilson, play us out.
I clicked the wrong button. Yeah, Soundmaster clicks the wrong button. I've only got 12. Yeah, at James_S Wilson if you want film, banter, and chats about Radiohead. Yeah, but know what? I forgot. I'm doing this again. I'm hijacking the podcast. I often hijack to talk about weird science fiction shows that are on television, and this week is no different. On Netflix, available right now, is Max Landis's Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. It's weird. It's weird as hell. It's got Elijah Wood in it. That's how weird it is already. It's about this detective who doesn't collect evidence or interview people. He sort of just goes with the flow and solves crimes. And there's time travel. There's souls switching from cats into sharks. There's a murder mystery. There's other weird people. It's amazing. And it's all on Netflix. Got to check it out.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys later. Remember, this has been Multiverse Podcast, the greatest show on Mondays. We will see you guys later. We're out of here.
Peace.
Bye.
Boy, I tell y'all right now, man. Oh, well, he's still alive. Hold on.